Welcome to the Crew Live. Today we got Rich and Matt and Cliff and I'm Jim. Cheers it up, boys.
Cheers.
Yeah.
That's a touch now?
No, we'll just...
All right, that's better.
That's better. Nothing like a good cheers to offer you up a good drink. So today we are going to talk about the sexual predator of the ages, of this present age. We don't know how long we're going to talk about it, but we know you'll have some interesting thoughts on it. Get in touch with us at the facebook.com/thecrewlive or thecrewlive.co. I would love to hear from you and let us know what you think of this DB Harvey Weinstein. Is it Steen or Stein?
Weinstein.
Steen.
Tomato.
Well, yeah,
Weinstein.
Yeah, it really doesn't matter anymore, I don't think, does it?
unless you're a Weinstein.
It's just mud now.
Yeah.
That's it.
Some of the people I spoke with about it, they heard the Weinsteins are saying, we're not the Weinsteins, we're the Weinsteins.
Oh, yeah.
Distancing.
I don't think you can do that.
Yeah, distancing. You what?
You can't do that.
You got it.
You can't just pronounce it differently. We're different. No.
We were, but now we are.
Yeah.
Now we're not.
They're both Jewish handles, whatever way you look at it. So what do you guys know about Harvey Weinstein and his escapades?
Very little. Almost nothing.
Oh,
Really?
what do you know?
That he exerted his great influence in Hollywood to use and abuse attractive women at his whim. And if they didn't go with him, then they never made it big in Hollywood.
For decades.
Yeah.
For 30 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. And his wife apparently knew for a long time, but until it came out in the media, she didn't walk away. So.
And she is not a hideous woman.
She's an
I recently was
attractive
shown an image of her.
Yeah, I think I saw an image
Yeah.
of her.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, so we'll get an image up there. What did you find?
And
What
did she try out for that
well,
role?
yeah.
Did she try out for the wife role? Like, did she have to earn that? Like, how'd that work?
I don't
no,
know.
the guy
See,
was reaching high, for sure.
I think too often I say what I think. And what that made me think right away is that I don't want to give this guy a pass. He really, really does not deserve a pass to abuse his power for that long. But to have a wife like that and be doing what he's doing, he's clearly
Got issues?
He's clearly got issues. There's clearly a mental issue there.
Or
So,
maybe
well,
it's
you
just
gotta wonder though-
used to being abusing power. Maybe he's just used to being in power so much that it's just he feels it's his natural right to be able to do that. It's not like he's taking advantage of women. It's a perk. It's like a tip
Yeah.
for his job. It's like, well, this is part of my
Just want to
package.
take back
This
that
is part
comment.
of my
Yeah.
contract.
I want to take it back already.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's not an ugly woman.
No, and,
No.
and
You can't put her up on there because he's a kind of a horrible looking
Well-
Jabba the Hutt type of man.
like on that note, I was going to mention, okay, so did she marry this guy for love? Or, you got to wonder where she was at.
Yeah, I don't know how long they've been
You know,
married.
To the...
You got another picture there, James?
Yeah, I'll get a couple pictures up for you. And we'll get some really good ones up there when we put this piece together for you guys so you can see her. It's just connecting to this. So let's let it do that for a moment while we keep chatting. So yeah, so he apparently abused for 30 years. There's over 30 women that have come forward already, and they're the Weinsteins there. Stein. I'm sorry, I'll never remember which one.
Jabba the Hutt.
He is.
He's a bit Jabba the Hutt,
Meryl
isn't
Streep
Hey.
referred to him in one Academy speech as God.
And that facial hair
Really?
doesn't work
Yes.
at all. Like, is he trying to hide his triple chin with that
my God.
beard?
Meryl
thing there? I
Streep
don't get that at
referred
all.
to him as God because he was so powerful in the industry.
Right.
Yeah.
I've seen all your wives, and I'm not a predator in any way, but they're all hot. Okay.
You're kind of predatory.
There's something that's
You may clip
really,
it right beside you. You'll sit here.
there's something
very
really
hot in
disturbing
here.
about a man who has a wife almost as hot as mine that needs to be a predator on other people and exert his power.
Yeah, he's kind of a funny looking cat, man. I don't get the beardy thing. It's not a real beard.
No.
It's not even a good
No,
George
it's-
Clooney 5 o'clock shadow
No,
beard.
it's one of
Right.
those you
So we
shouldn't
gotta
bother.
know.
Don't
It's
bother.
just a weird thing.
Yeah.
It's a homeless man's beard. I
It's a
don't know.
homeless
It's a
man's
home-
beard.
Homeless men. Anyway, were they ever a happy couple? I don't know. So our question is, so 30 years, over 30 women have come forward. How did he abuse his power? Was he, why wasn't he found out sooner? Why wasn't he exposed sooner? And
And did he know Bill Cosby?
Oh,
Were they friends?
yeah.
So they've got the same kind of time span on this shit.
Oh, and just being, now you got me thinking about Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck.
Guilty by association because they had called him in the past, Ben Affleck, protege of Weinstein.
Oh,
really?
Oh, yeah.
So
Is
yeah,
that why you put out that media release right away where you just slammed Weinstein?
yeah, and there has been a few accusations of Affleck,
Affleck.
Ben Affleck,
Affleck is the insurance agency that has a duck or something.
of,
as a,
of grabbing the odd titty or ass in
Is
his
that
day.
right?
So
But he's a young guy and he used to drink a lot, so
yeah,
can't be too surprised that guys are creepy every now and then. But
yeah,
Well, Weinstein was too at one point, and
guilty.
he's obviously gotten old.
he went with that whole serial version of it and abusing his power. Affleck.
So it's-
Affleck didn't have power back then. He was just like some up and coming actor who's just a guy.
Yeah, what's up with that? I mean,
Affleck.
so
we're gonna get slammed. I'm gonna get slammed, aren't I, for talking about that? That why is she with him? And then I also see, and well, it's the only time we'll mention his name today. I see Melania and Trump also. Like, what's the deal?
Because powerful people are attracted because of their power, right? So
Yeah.
Not so much by their looks.
Oh, yeah, and his power.
He's one guy who's probably happy that this happened to Weinstein.
Donald Trump.
Yeah,
Taking
Takes
the
the
heat
heat
off.
off.
take the
yeah.
heat out, just a
You
little
did good
bit.
not mentioning his name a second time. You said, I'm only going to mention it.
Yeah, no, I didn't say it.
And
He
then,
did.
yeah, you know what? Yeah, you're right. It does have shades of the Trump Melania kind of overstepping what he really looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody asked me recently. They said, "Man, can you imagine what Trump looks like naked?" And I didn't
Who
want.
asked you that?
But you
Yeah,
didn't
who
ask
asked
me
that?
that.
Messed up,
One of
man.
my coworkers asked me, and I just said, "You are unbelievable! Like this red radioactive." He went into what he would see as a naked Trump.
Could you imagine, shower sex with Melania and Donald? How about that? Just have that hair that all on one side, just kind of hanging down. Trump, like
Yeah, I'm kind of just
You
trying to
imagine
shut
it?
you off right now. That's messed up.
Could you imagine? I don't want to imagine that. Absolutely not.
too late. You're gonna do it
No.
as you fall asleep tonight. Each and every one of
Wondering if
you.
that will
Well,
affect the
hey,
results.
that's
So, back to Weinstein though.
yeah.
Like, what's the deal? How can someone just get away with that for 30 years? Why?
How did Bill Cosby get away with it for 30
Like,
years?
why?
And they said everybody knew though. That's the point.
Yeah.
Everybody knew. Even
Oh.
even the company, the production companies,
Certainly.
had contracts written where if they had to do a payout to a woman because of something like that,
delicious, by the way.
he would pay them back.
That's,
So they were fully aware of the situation going on,
refreshing.
and they're culpable for it too. Then, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not sure how much history this part of the story has, but NBC was going to break some of these charges or claims at some point, and Weinstein has such a wolf pack of lawyers that will chase down anyone who's going to vilify him and stop them from doing so. And NBC held off a number of years back.
Can his
because-
lawyers get to
Well,
us?
there
James?
was one of
get
the
here.
ladies did follow through and took it to the police, and they
Sure.
tried, and that's when he got this horde of lawyers together and started digging up dirt on her and slamming her in the media for every little thing she did, and she just eventually ran out of patience and money.
Oh, was that right?
Yeah. And said this isn't worth it.
just passed up on,
Yeah.
kind of dropped it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, messing with somebody like that, though, in that industry would be a career ender, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you're not going to get people that are going to be willingly wanting to risk their career on.
And probably like
You
a
know.
lot of the girls that didn't go along with him and do what he wanted them to do didn't end up going to the movies they wanted to go to and getting a proper career. They moved to porn instead. And paid for sex over there instead of sex up there.
Yeah, getting a paycheck is what it's worth. But there's two things that are kind of self-fueling, I guess. They work together in a synergistic effect. The young starlet that wants to move ahead in her career, and the power-mongering producer who actually is a bully in many senses. Does he have a sex addiction, or is he just a super asshole?
No,
that
he
knows-
just sees candy and he wants to eat it. So he's like, oh, look at this delicious candy that I usually don't get to have anymore, but now I'm going to have a little treat while I'm here.
I heard a recording today in a podcast I was listening to of a 17-year-old that came to his hotel room door because he had requested her attend him for some business meeting, and he shows up in his robe at the door. I'm just going to jump in a shower. You come in and have a drink.
Kate Beckinsale.
Right.
Yeah.
You guys know Kate Beckinsale?
Everyone
Yeah,
knows Kate
everybody knows
Beckinsale.
Kate Beckinsale.
Right.
Come
right.
on.
She's an actress.
I think.
We'll put an image up when we edit this, so we don't have to screw with this thing. I think. Okay, so that was Kate Beckinsale,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it was recorded, and she said, "No, I'm good. I'm going to go down to the bar and have a drink."
It wasn't recorded because she's like 50 now.
Okay, so this
So
is
you're thinking of a different one.
different actress.
Yeah, that was a sting operation.
Ooh.
She went to the police and originally and when she was there lodging her complaint, he texted her, called her while she was with the police.
Oh my goodness.
And they're like, "Yeah, I guess this is very legit. Let's try and take him down." And yeah, that was recorded by the police.
Well, good for her to be in party with the police and actually decline this guy. And I don't know, it obviously screwed up her career because I can't even remember her name, and I just heard the podcast today. But Kate Beckinsale jumped into the queue.
Yeah, that happened to her when she was 17. Yeah. She got called up to the hotel.
Oh, I see.
She's like, "Why is that happening? I mean, why is this not in an office?
Why is this not?
Why is it in your hotel room and you're in a robe?"
So you guys, do you think, okay, Cliffy, I'll ask you, do you think he's a sex addict or some other issue?
It could be a combination. You know, like he's definitely got issues with handling the power that he has, and doing the things that he's done.
Yeah. Matt, what do you think?
I think he's just a jackass who has power and he's abusing it. It's like so many people do. I mean, when you got lots of power or lots of money, people abuse things all the time. He just happens to be a creepy guy, and this is his way of abusing it. He's like,
Sure.
I can handle this. I can use these stars. Yeah, they've got talent, but I want a little something extra out of it while I get their career going. So
He checks off all the boxes.
he's just a jackass.
He's an addict. He's a bully. He's an egomaniac. He's a dirty old man.
But him checking himself into, I need help, I need rehab, bullshit. He doesn't believe that himself. He's just trying to spin it really quick and cover his ass.
That's what everybody seems to do these days, right? As soon as they get caught.
Oh, isn't that the key? Hey?
Oh, it's not my fault.
Oh, I need some help now.
Well, when do you guys ever say you're sorry for a misfire in some, obviously a less significant? Who says they're sorry unless they're caught? You do? You're gonna?
We all do.
Yeah.
I know that all of the
You're
crew
sorry
lies.
unless
Yeah,
you're caught.
right.
Apologizes. You
Thank
like,
you,
come
Rich.
on,
You're
man.
not going to say sorry that he's caught. He should just admit he's an asshole.
Somebody told me about this power imbalance, and of course, how do you resist a power imbalance if you want something that somebody has the power to give you? And the difference between a sex addict and somebody just abusing their power because they're a freaking asshole, pervert, predator, you don't see any cases of him trying to force women with equivalent power to have sexual activity with him or to engage. It's always subordinates, always subordinates, always subordinates. And so
there weren't very many people with equivalent power to him. First of all, because he's a privileged white male, and then he's dealing with women mostly.
And just his position again.
Yeah.
Like it just
Right.
he's
He
the
wasn't working
one
with-
person that can decide who goes where. Like he just can't. It's
Sure.
not like, it's not working out here, I'll go there. Well, no. He said no, and he's going to tell the other people that can, they're his friends, don't hire them because I don't want them to be hired.
have you heard anything, Matt, about the union, the ACTRA or whatever, the SWAG or SFAG, what is it? Screen Actors Guild? SAG?
Actors Guild. SAG. What about him?
Well, I'm asking if anybody's heard, because shouldn't the union be stepping in?
He was kicked out of the Film Academy. You know
Okay.
that, right?
Which doesn't mean a whole lot.
But sexual inappropriateness has gone on in Hollywood
Forever.
The casting couch forever. Where is the if I have a union, which I've worked under a union for much of my life, and they're supposed to protect me when the man is abusing me. I don't mean
True.
sexually, no.
But I guess if something's the norm, right? If that's the norm, the casting couch is the norm.
I don't know where I heard it, but someone was
How to
like,
change
"Yeah,
it.
that what? Oh my gosh, I'm so lost for words right now."
I don't know what direction.
Make
Well,
words up.
yeah. When something happens at
Yeah.
work that shouldn't happen, you go to the human resources.
Ah!
There, I just have to explain it. That department, it wasn't even really real in his organization.
Hollywood.
There was nowhere to
Sure.
go in Hollywood in general. Yeah, there's no human resources to go to and say that this guy grabbed my boobie. So
No.
I was going to type women abused by Harvey Weinstein. I started typing women abused by human resources.
And a lot came up.
yeah. Holy smokes, look at that.
But that's a salient point, isn't it? Like, when did human resources become a thing that you could even go to them and say, "This is going on. Should this be going on?" I don't even know the date of that.
Yeah.
Cliff, you
Is
were-
it even a thing in the film industry?
It's not. There's no way.
Yeah, it's and as far as the Actors Guild, to what extent do they, what do they do? I don't think there would be any written policies on, things like that. Like,
Yeah, they mostly watch out for paychecks, make sure people get paid for what they're.
right, yeah.
The bottom
Sorry to
line
pay
is
for it, but
it's
that's
brutal.
what it is.
It's brutal.
It is brutal.
33 decades, 30 women minimum, and
way
he's
more.
not the only man who's abused his power, and I'm sure there's the odd woman also in that industry. And how is it ever going to change?
That's a great question. How is it going to
And
change?
we'll never answer that tonight.
Well, how would you change it? What would you do?
Well, education.
Yeah, right.
Education. It
Education.
starts-
And this is what the crew live's about. We're here to educate you that.
Education.
We got to teach the 3-year-old boys how to treat women, and then the 5-year-old and the 7-year-old has got to start
Man,
right from
that's-
infancy all the way through.
But
Why
it's
isn't that
never
work?
going to
So-
change. You get a creepy guy, you give him power. There's still going to be a creepy guy with power now. They're going to
Yes,
abuse it.
education
Everything's gonna
and
change.
penile
You
removal
can't change creepy people. man.
surgery.
Penile.
There's
Penile
always
removal surgery.
creepers. Very well educated.
Yeah,
creepers.
they're
He's not
absolutely-
undereducated.
Actually, the only way to maybe affect some change, because there's always going to be a small percentage of people that are of that,
Predators,
they're predators, right? But to have levers and checks and balances in place that, something happens and you have somewhere to go to talk to somebody, i.e. the union that exists probably wouldn't be that avenue, right? There's, so, education wise, not for the perverts, but for the general population. That,
Yeah.
We're not going to educate them how to be
I
better
went-
perverts.
I just
You're a
went
good
all-
pervert.
when I said
you can be a great
education-
pervert.
you can be a better pervert.
We'll give you a degree in perversion.
Just be a good
When I
pervert.
went to education, I was
Right?
going to the global issue of men in general
There's some creepy women out there, man.
mistreating women.
There's some creepy women in power.
Okay,
mistreating
95 to 5% men
men.
mistreating
80-20.
women.
I would say 80-20, but all right.
I don't think it's that. I think it's 1 in 20. 1 in 20.
What did you say your number, Matt?
20%.
20%
20%
Of women.
20%
Abuse.
of women in power are going to abuse it, for sure.
Like an ass tap or
Yeah.
because
No
yeah,
chance.
actually.
No
Sexual
chance.
abuse, groping. Oh,
Next on the
God,
this is
100%.
unbelievable because next on the crew live, when you see us in different positions on these couches, we're going to be talking about reverse sexual discrimination
Probably different clothes, too.
and maybe different outfits. You don't want to miss this.
We generally change our clothes from
yeah,
week to week.
that's from week to week.
Why don't
Okay.
we just interchange shirts?
That's a good idea.
No.
So okay,
It's
so
way too big for me.
well, we'll look at some stats before we go live with our next spin.
Yeah, because you're delusional.
There's no.
80-20.
You're basically saying out of every abuse that happens in power, it's 4 of them are men and 1 of them is a woman.
Yep.
No way. It's like 19 to 1.
That's every woman in power, then, Matt.
Oh,
No, I'm not.
I guess.
I'm not being a dick
Yeah.
about it.
Say
Yeah,
everyone
I
in
guess.
power abuses their power,
Well,
Jim?
Because
based on
that's
your-
rather
Because if
sexist
there's
of you.
5, what
You're a
you're saying is
horrible
if
man.
there's 5 powerful people in the world,
Right.
only 1 of them is a woman.
Right.
So every single one of those women must abuse their power.
Yes.
That's right.
To match his
To
statistics.
match Matt's
correct.
bullshit statistics.
That's correct.
I love it.
statistic. She will for sure.
We're going to get some real stats for you, and you're going to want to know them. So, point being, most of them are still men who do the abusing. So you said educate, and Cliff said emasculate. Is that what you said? No. No. Is it possible to get more women in power? Like, would this have happened if these young gals had women to go to produce the movies they wanted to be into instead of a Superman producer who can get you in or out with the word?
Yes, it still would have happened because Harvey Weinstein still existed.
Maybe
I
all
don't
women
understand that.
all women should just go to women producers and all
No,
men
you
should.
can't. That's weird. That's weird. We're gonna
Write it
segregate
up.
everybody into boys
Put it in
and
the
girls
Screen
and
Actors Guild.
we all live in different
AFTRA.
buildings. Boys in one
No.
building, girls.
You
in
live in
another.
different buildings?
That's weird.
So you're actually building on the
No,
model
that's-
that I'm advocating.
I'm
now.
just saying, you're crazy, man. You're
Segregation. Cliffy's an advocate for segregation. Of the genders, not of the races.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Right?
Crazy. That's messed up.
No.
No. Okay, but something has to be done. So
What has to be done?
1 in 3.
Why not just punish the individuals that are bad and just not
And
do a
move
general
on.
sweeping thing over everybody else? Like the only thing that
What's
could
the
have been done
punishment
different
thing?
is the girls earlier on. It's too bad, like you said, they didn't have somebody to come forward to and say this guy's a dick. Let's punish him. Whether you just take him out, Harvey, let's meet at the hotel. But then there's like 8 big guys waiting there to kick the shit out of him. And then he just learns from that eventually that, okay, I can't do this anymore. I'm going to get the shit kicked out of me every time I try to lure a young girl in.
Right. Or these actresses that work out, right? They could probably gather together as a band of 8 or 10 and beat the shit out of
Yeah.
Harvey Weinstein.
And maybe shave that stupid ass beard, man. That thing's messed up. I don't get
So again, we're back to the play where a sound beating might remedy that guy's issue.
And jail him too. That's fine if he's
For sure. Joe.
abusing it, especially
Should-
the younger girls. But
Should his wealth be stripped? Should his...
how can you?
He's
strip
already
his wealth,
fired.
though?
His brother Bob...
Bob.
Well, I
Yeah,
think
but
that's
name
his
Bob.
brother's name, Bob Weinstein. He fired. They fired Harvey. Bob and Harvey own 20% of the Weinstein production company, and when these allegations came to light and they were legitimized, Harvey got fired from his own company.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, Captain Obvious. We all knew that.
Did we?
Of course we did.
you
We
know
all
they
knew
all-
he got fired from the Weinstein Foundation. Who didn't know that?
I didn't
Okay.
really know or care.
I thought you
I
were
thought his name was Weinstein.
okay, Weinstein, and here I thought you
I thought it was
were.
Robert, not Bob.
I thought you were vilifying
called
me
Bob.
because everybody knew this 20% of the company. I thought the Weinstein.
No, just that he got fired.
Okay.
Okay.
That was like the first thing that happened.
Yeah, you knew that.
Did you though?
Cliff, did you know he got fired?
I did not actually.
Ah!
No. Like I said, I thought his name was Weinstein. But turns
He's
out
been,
it's
he's been
Steen.
following a different case.
Yeah.
So how do you mitigate this extraordinary power imbalance that continues to corrupt good industries and cause young ladies, and it's typically females that, and not based on mass statistic, that get this abuse and now they have to suffer this their entire life. They not that they want to be victims, but they've been victimized and now they're stuck with it. How do you deal with a power imbalance in your own life?
You can't. There's always power imbalances. Any room you walk into, somebody's got more power than somebody else every single time.
And the world isn't fair, you know. Like
No.
you talk about good industries. Is the film industry actually, like these people are privileged and
Right.
does this actually deserve the amount of attention that it's getting? That this guy, did some groping and stuff. I don't, to the extent of what he did, in some cases I'm sure is probably horrific, and he needs to be punished for it. But to have a public lynching on what needs to be done.
Well, Cliff, let
Especially-
me just sorry.
Go ahead. No,
Let me ask,
James.
is
Go
this
ahead.
is this horrific, Matt? So I'm turned on by one of you guys, and I'm producing the Crew Live.
I gotta go, Jim. It's getting very late.
Put my pillow over here.
Okay, actually, let's change this a little bit.
There's nothing wrong with
The
that.
Crew
though,
Live
James.
producer is turned on by one of us guys, and it's time to go get snacks at our next break. And he stops in a hallway and says, "Man, you're awesome. I love you. I'm just gonna jerk it here while you're standing there watching. You don't get to pass by until I'm done jerking it." That's what Weinstein did to one of his victims for sure. And there's others. Okay.
How do you find this information? I never.
Well,
heard
this
that
is
story.
all
That's,
the
you don't
internet.
watch
Public
TV?
knowledge.
You don't watch TV, do you? You're a book
I'm not
reader or
that.
what?
I like books,
All book
but
smarts?
I'll watch more TV. Yeah. I'll make an effort. There's a TV
So-
right there watching it.
So none of us have ever been put in the position to be forced to watch somebody else masturbating.
Really?
But she
You've
could-
never been put in
they
that
could
position. But not when you're younger, you're a handsome man. You for sure put in that position.
Oh, forced. Go against your will. Right? Okay, is this
But
like is this
shabbily
too
bearded,
going with
fat,
this?
Is this too
overweight.
raw?
Okay.
Point
By man. No.
point is that Cliff said maybe he did some bad stuff, maybe he didn't. You didn't really say it that
I don't
way.
think he said that.
But
Well,
you
no,
said, I'm
it's a given that he did bad things.
But is this
I don't
any
know,
more
yeah,
serious
is
than
it-
Yeah,
happening
like there's
for Joe down the street that's been doing this?
Yeah.
This creepy guy down the street there that's been doing it for 30 years.
yeah.
He just isn't famous.
You know,
but
the
this
fact
all
that it's
like-
in such a public eye, you know, the film industry and big names, and you know, does it deserve that much more than the local?
than
Yeah.
all the files we don't hear about all
Yeah.
the time.
you say
It
yes.
does. Yeah,
Why?
absolutely. Because they're more powerful, and because
That's
it
not-
sheds a light on it globally, so that we can try and solve this.
Okay, what about
epidemic.
all the priests that have been molesting children for years that nothing's happened about yet? And this has come out years ago that they're molesters, child rapists, and they
Nobody
just move them
cares.
to a different church.
Nobody cares about church.
They don't,
Everybody-
you don't care
everybody
about all the
cares
children?
about
You don't care about all the little
entertainment.
children?
I never said I didn't care
You
about the
did.
children.
You don't care about all the little children.
I said the
molested by priests
reason that
nothing's
this
happened to, and that's got swept under the carpet.
it's
where this is like,
predominant in the
oh,
news because everybody
on
watches
Entertainment Tonight.
TV except for you, Mr.
Because it's
Booksmart.
fake TV. It's bullshit. It's nothing important. These guys are here to
What are you
entertain us.
talking about?
They're
Fake TV?
entertainers. Their job is to entertain us.
But
Did you
okay,
vote for
so
Trump?
why do people
No,
care
man,
more
that's
about?
stupid. I didn't vote for anybody. I'm a Canadian. What's wrong with you?
Why do people
Well,
care
you're
more
talking
about?
about fake news.
Why do people care more about this than the priests? Cliff, what do you think?
Current.
Well, it's current.
It's current.
Yeah,
Everything
it's current right
passes.
now.
Okay.
And you know, that's a good point. It's current, and it will go away.
In about
Right.
2 weeks.
Like people are
important
not
issues
even
seem to-
talking about the fact. Sorry. People are not even talking about the fact that the man that runs the most powerful country in the world
Yeah.
did a lot of the stuff that
Yeah.
Weinstein did, and he's running the most powerful country in the world because it's past, and we've got other things to worry about.
There's
There's been hurricanes and
Flavor
there's
of the
been
day.
mass shootings, and now we're on to Harvey Weinstein.
True.
Well, I'm not personally.
and the important issues
You
get
sound exasperated by that.
pushed.
I am.
People don't discuss to the death, I guess, what needs to be discussed and come up with the solutions. You know, it's the flavor of the day.
Right.
Oh, well, that's a passe. No, let's talk about Harvey.
So whatever comes into the media's kind of cue is what we talk about anyway.
So you're saying our overall civilization is just messed up, and we should not
Right. Right.
continue the way we are. Anarchy should rule the day.
No, I'm not saying. I'm not saying
I
that.
was just
I'm not
about to
saying
agree
that.
with you there.
Okay.
I mean, anarchy's got its perks, I'm sure, but I'm not saying that.
I guess I didn't understand where you're
I
going.
don't
with this,
even
but okay.
understand anarchy. Well, Cliff was going there. I wasn't going anywhere. But I will say this, that those people who, and you mentioned the abused children of priests, there's been abused in our own city that have tried to get positions in plays. And who knows if high school actors and actresses are getting this power imbalance that brings abuse or not. But I tell you, if you, and this is like all seriousness, if you have suffered abuse from somebody in power, please tell somebody you can trust so that you can move forward with an appropriate journey towards healing, and so that you can find the appropriate support from authorities that can actually get that person to have just recompense for their actions. It isn't right. You never deserved it. Nobody deserves it. And I wished we had the answer to stop it.
That's really positive, Jim. Good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, we all know people who have been abused, and it is shitty.
It's
There's a shitty journey that comes out of it, and the shame that these gals probably have because of the abuse they experienced.
And they often get stuck in that one moment of their life. They don't actually move on with their life because of that one moment. So they keep sticking there
Right.
in their mind, and they don't think they deserve to move on from there. So just because some one guy is an asshole, so
That's,
it's hard to move on from some shitty days. So
yeah.
especially when you feel like you're to blame. So
You're not to blame, buddy.
thanks.
It wasn't your fault. It's not your fault. It's
Just
not your fault.
get the communion wine, he said, and I said, what?
It's not your fault. You guys know where that's from?
No.
It's
not your fault. One of the
Jerry
best-
Maguire.
One of the best
No.
movies ever.
Oh.
It's not
No,
your fault.
it'll come to me.
Top Gun.
It actually had sexual abuse in it.
It's not your fault.
Goodwill Hunting. Goodwill Hunting.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Robin Williams, Matt
Rob
Damon.
Williams
It's
said
not
it
your
over and
fault.
over to
It's not
Matt
your fault.
Damon. Right
was
near the
Matt
end.
Damon sexually abused in that?
Yeah, and beat
show?
to shit. Yeah, when he was a
Oh.
kid,
Tough
and that's
guy.
what was coming out in that scene. That he is who he is because that happened to him when he was younger, and it wasn't his fault that he got abused. It's not
Gosh.
your fault.
That's harsh.
Yes. So
Well, boys, any last
Robin Williams
words?
is good. I like
Miss-
Robin Williams. It's too bad he died. He was a funny guy.
Okay.
yeah.
So we'd like to give this as a tribute to Robin Williams.
To Robin Williams.
To Robin Williams. Cheers.
Cheers.
Nanu
Not
nanu.
touching.
To Robin.
Nanu.
Cheers.
Nanu.
What the hell do you guys think cheers means? It's not the end of a text message. So thanks for being part of this episode of The Crew Live. Harvey Weinstein's a prick, and we
Son
are
of a
sorry
bitch.
for all those who suffered at his hand. We hope you prosper in your careers and your life, even though you endured his heinous abuse of power. Cheers from The Crew Live. All the best. Facebook.com/The Crew Live or TheCrewLive.co. See you again on The Crew Live.